Hey YouTube, this is Rubik's Noob Leak. This is going to be basically my opinion on the difference between Skyrim and New Vegas, the Fallout series. I just got done with Skyrim. Well, I played it first, and I felt like it was one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Okay. I mean, as far as just the sheer amount of hours that you can play the game, the sheer amount of content and quests, the sheer amount of like interactability with different items that you can turn into armor and the skills. I mean, there's a lot of things that were like wonderful about the game, and I felt almost as if they had programmed it in a way. It's like some of these online games where like what they used to call Forever Crack or Forever Quest, to where it seemed like basically I had finished maybe about 90% of it, but maybe I didn't even finish 90% of it, because there seemed to be a lot of other quests that were there. Like, I don't know how the programmers actually did that. They made it to where it seemed like there was an unlimited amount of quests. The only issue that I really had with it was, even though it was fun and so on, it was some of the missions didn't seem linear. At some point in time, it seemed like the game began to get convoluted with a lot of different distractions as far as side missions, to where you almost lost track of what was actually happening. And at one point, I think I put maybe about 200 hours into the game, and I didn't realize how far I had really come until I went online to find out kind of a walkthrough, because I didn't even know where I was, and I didn't realize I had beat the game a week before, or a week prior to that, which was both good and bad, because there's still a lot of like things that I could do, but at the same time I kind of lost track of where I was headed and in what direction, because there was so many things to do. Once again, it wasn't very linear, so sometimes I think that you get confused in what your real purpose is. I just started New Vegas. Now, I live in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas right now. One of the things that I thought, because I hate when they make movies and this and that and the other, I think they really kind of did their research. Things weren't all 100% to scale as far as like the world map and so on and so forth. But Henderson's right up the road. I'm in North Las Vegas right now. I'm actually looking at the TV screen right now. They have, the I-215, I mean, you can do things that are, they have Sloan. I mean, it's pretty cool, because you have Boulder City, there's a fight over Hoover Dam, all this other stuff. But one thing, so I thought that was really cool, because I'm from Vegas, and they got it pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit different than, but it is it's post-apocalyptic, so, obviously if a nuclear warhead and it was 200 years in the future, I probably wouldn't recognize things. But they did a pretty good job on that. I have to give them credit on that. But I did feel like I just ran through the game so quickly, and maybe one of the reasons that happened was because I had just got done with Skyrim. I had a house call. I had a house. I found a Novak that you could get like an extended stay, which is funny because there's a lot of those here in Vegas. And I stashed a lot of weaponry, and I had a little bit of a head start on some of the rules and parameters of the game before I even started. So it took me all of about 40 hours. It looked like about 1 week, and I was done with it. And it was a month or more before I was actually done with Skyrim, and I'm still not really done with Skyrim, but I'm done with the bulk and the meat of the game. But I had to go back and say, hey, well, I was a little bit disappointed with New Vegas at that point in time, so I said, here, let me give it another shot. So what I did, and I'm telling you, if you don't play it this way, and forget about all this, the rendering and the graphics are sharper, and there's a new engine and so on and so forth for Skyrim. I mean, there's a new game called Minecraft that's out right now. Those graphics are horrible, but you know what? There's something about gameplay and just different things that you can interact with that really make a game. we're noticing now that we're coming into a wave of new games where, there are third-party people who are designing these games, and the games might not look beautiful, but it's really what they do for the certain individual. I'm telling you, if you don't play New Vegas on hardcore mode, then you're not really playing New Vegas. I started over again, and I'm probably about 1/4 into the game again, and it seems like it's an entirely different game. I've seen stuff and experienced stuff that I never experienced the first time around. I mean, it's incredible. It's like the path was sort of linear, but not completely. There are a lot of things that are going on now that, and it's a whole surreal world. I mean, you have to drink, you have to eat. You become dehydrated, rad sickness, sleep deprivation. It affects the ability to be able to carry things, and your vision, and it's really awkward. You can't hardly even play the game, even just walking, from one town to the next because your vision is so blurry. It's kind of real. Even though the graphics aren't as great as Skyrim, there's a realistic quality that New Vegas brings, especially on hardcore mode, that I don't believe that you're going to really experience in Skyrim. I just had this time around I got Boone, and he was going to be my companion, and I had Eddie, and I didn't upgrade Eddie's weaponry, and I just realized that they can actually be killed for good. And I got ambushed and bushwhacked by Caesar's Legion, and it was one of the more visceral fights that I've ever experienced in a video game. I mean, I believe Boone was killed too, and I was sitting next to him, and his head just came apart as we were both fighting, and I didn't realize that it was really him that just died. It was kind of creepy. There's a realistic quality to New Vegas that I believe that Skyrim does not have. I mean, graphic-wise, it's not quite as polished. As far as animations, it might not be quite as polished, but there are certain things about the game that I know why there are fans of that prefer, the Fallout series. It's a lot more grimy. There's a lot more jaw-dropping moments. I think it should be rated a lot higher. It's a very mature game. I don't really recommend it for children, especially on that hardcore mode. And that's just my personal opinion, but I'm just back through it one more time, and I'm telling you, I understand now why, that there are fans for both. And I'm a fan of both, and I'm not going to sit up here and trash Skyrim, obviously, because I love the game, and I think that it was one of the greatest games ever created. But at the same time, there are things that New Vegas is showing me that is, and also, like, the going into the vats, and I mean, like, you can cripple somebody, or you can destroy their weapon in their hand, and I mean, there's a lot of other things that you can do, calculated strategies that you can't get in Skyrim that kind of push it to that level, I mean, if it was at the same level of animation and the same level of clarity and graphics were sharp, I think there would be a lot less debate over what game was better. But either way, with that said, I would have to give them, they're a totally different world. They're a totally different world, so I can't really say one is better than the other. But at the same time, you can't say that Skyrim is better until you've played on hardcore mode. And until you've experienced that, then give the Fallout series, its credit due. All right, Rubik's Noob 133 signing out. Thank you, YouTube.